Judge Star Reefer. Celestial Paladin. Sorry. Celestial Paladin. AKA Semi-Bold One. Part 4, where we're discussing Max Spiers and Orlando Bloom, Katy Perry, and the Illuminati. Now, we ended with the whole thrust of MI6 being to try and build a artificial Nagwal four-lobed being which can be used for massive psychic potential. And we know that Orlando, the fucktard Bloom, has been chosen by the Illuminati as the new king of the Illuminati because he's dyslexic with a subnormal IQ, as the ultimate psychic powerhouse of the Illuminati West. And just to prove the point, the crown, which is the upline for Illuminism in the West, was elevated to gigantic heights when Katy Perry, who's the Queen Witch taking over from Madonna, pushing Miley Cyrus, who'd been promised to take Madonna's place out of the way. We know the royal family went to stupendous heights of power when Katy Perry got engaged to Orlando, the fucktard Bloom, and everything went right for the royal family after that, proving the supreme power of this artificial Nagwal, where Max Spiers' best parts had been merged with Orlando, the fucktard Bloom, culminated in, since Katy Perry's married Orlando Bloom, well, engaged to be married to Orlando Bloom, the massive run of luck of the royal family. Things have gone spiffingly well because their ritual worked. We had Prince Philip drives in his Range Rover out of the T-junction and gets T-boned and falls on his side. We get Prince Andrew being accused by Virginia Andrews of being a paedophile sex beast who was using her under the auspices of Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted paedophile, and his wonderful interview on Newsnight, where he fully proves that he, Prince Andrew, is totally innocent of being a paedophile and using poor little Virginia Andrews as his sex slave. All wonderful. And we know, of course, that Meghan Markle, married to Prince Harry, accused the royal family of abusive racism and ran off to Canada and took Prince Harry with her. And then, of course, we've got Princess Anne's son divorcing the wifey just a week ago. All of which proves the immense power of the Orlando Bloom fucktard engaged to the witch queen Katy Perry, detrimental effect on the royal family, who wish to use Katy Perry as the Queen Witch in their rituals. No negative effects, but has boosted them, using the massive power of Orlando the Fucktard Bloom to raise the frequency and the worship of the royal family on a massive scale. Because, of course, since he's Jewish and he had the Max Spiers energy as an artificial Nagwal, this top secret MI6 program has worked out perfectly, has it not? It's a complete success. It's worked out brilliant. And when, of course, Katy Perry marries Orlando Bloom, the royal family will go from strength to strength, just increasing the success that they've had in the past year. Now, looking at the process that was used, ritual sexual abuse, the whole principle of that is that you get young children and that you sexually molest them big time and torture them. This moves the assemblage point, if you're in Castaneda books, of the child victims, using the energy of the humans, which is sexual, into the centre where they are manifest. And you've got this centre here for the space-like body, this centre here for the dream-like, time-like body. And MI6 tried to push it out of Max Spiers into Orlando Bloom to make an artificial Nagwal, because the four-lobe Nagwal can do all the super psychic shit. And as we've seen with the wonderful success that has come to the royal family since they have agreed that Orlando Bloom is the ultimate Illuminati king, and Katy Perry is the ultimate Illuminati queen, and yours truly is going to be sacrificed and all of his energy bled out into Orlando Bloom. Why? Because he's Jewish and I'm not Jewish. This, of course, will work. We see the massive success of the program in the elevation of everything royal in the noosphere, in the minds of the world public. It's worked perfectly in Cloud Cuckoo Land. Now, the mechanism to move assemblage points and fracture energy bodies, which was used to push Max Spiers' energy into Bloom, SRA, my esteemed colleague will talk about. And it's no coincidence that Perry met the fucktard Bloom at a party in LA from Robert Downey Jr. And the relationship really took off in 2016, and the decision was made in 2016 that Bloom would to become the king of the Illuminati, which therefore meant that Spear would have to die. So there's no coincidence that Spiers was killed in Poland in 2016. The King George IV Dolly Mop married the King of Poland. If you look on Jim Keith's Secret and Suppressed, you can see that. Now, of course, we're going to look into what Max Spiers was alleging, that the royal family were paedophiles and cannibals and all the occult SRA stuff, which my esteemed colleague here has researched deeply and is going to give you some meat. Conspiracy theorists normally talk about their thoughts and what is happening, but without any real names and without the infrastructure. Here, Celestial Paladin will go through in a comprehensive way SRA, the thing that was used on Spiers and Bloom to try and forge this universal fucktard, which of course has benefited the royal family so immensely. And of course, we know Katy Perry used her immense witch power to boost Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party, who of course won the 2016 election and beat Donald Trump. So now we've got Hillary Clinton as president, and the royal family have had non-stop adulation from the public, and we're still in the Rothschild, One World Order, EU, in cloud cuckoo land. So something's wrong, because it's all gone wrong. The so-called all-powerful Illuminati are in disarray. And what they thought was control has turned into total disarray and chaos. So talking about chaos, over to my henchman here, who will cause more chaos by going into the SRA of the British establishment.
Firstly, I'd like to mention some of the things that are done to the children. I'm not going to go through all of it because there's so much of it.
Why not? We've got plenty of time.
Okay, go on.
Let's just stick the knife in. Let's be malevolent.
Oh, well, we could do that.
You know me.
Yeah.
I'm never backward in kicking the shit out of people. Take it nice and easy. Don't rush. Just be...
I'll read from my list.
slowly and nastily, with observations.
Types of SRA are child, adolescent and adult sexual and physical abuse, including torture. Abuse by multiple perpetrators.
That's every orifice.
Abusers both within and outside the family. Abusers of both sexes. Oral, anal and vaginal abuse repeated over years. Sexual abuse with objects. Sex involving animals and or snakes. Abusers in costume, clowns, harlequins, Santa Claus, animal costumes,
Stop you there.
etc.
Eyes wide shut, what were they wearing?
Masks.
Exactly. Continue.
Witnessing abuse of other children of both sexes. Witnessing abuse, torture and rape of adults. Sexual abuse coupled with severe pain or torture. Childhood prostitution, often involving paedophile and or sadomasochist groups.
Stop you there. Happening in every British city.
Yeah.
Run by Pakistanis. Continue.
Being bound or gagged not only during abuse. Being half suffocated or strangled. Being scrubbed hard both externally and internally. Being burned, branded or tattooed on concealed parts of the body.
That's a norm for A-listers.
Yeah.
Look at Landon Bloom with his Morse code tattoo for his fucktard kid Flynn.
Being plunged into very hot or ice cold baths. Being held repeatedly underwater until near drowning.
No, that's Guantanamo. You get that for free there.
Yeah, free. having your head held in the toilet while flushed.
That's happened in my grammar school.
Yeah. Having nails pulled off or crushed with pliers. Teeth extracted or chipped without anaesthetic. Pins or needles stuck in the body, especially the soles of the feet or under the nails. Being dangled upside down from a height.
That's the Vatican banker.
Being shackled or manacled. head put in a clamp and the screw tightened, being hung upside down in water from a boat or a bridge,
That's an banker.
being spun on a wheel or rotated on vertical axis.
Any funfair in the UK?
Electric shocks to head, nipples, vagina or rectum.
School of Americas.
Forced ECT, repeated
Mental hospitals.
frequently causing temporary
MK
amnesia.
Ultra.
Being shut in cupboards, boxes, coffins, etc.
That was that film with that American fucktard director torturing the Muslim terrorist. You know, the woman director that was married to Cameron?
Being shut in cupboards, boxes, coffins, often with snakes, maggots, spiders, bees, wasps or other insects. Being buried alive with only a tube for air. Forcibly fed till vomiting, then made to eat the vomit. Forced to eat feces, maggots, insects, drink urine, blood or semen. Forced to eat raw animal or human tissue, including eyeballs and fetuses. Given enemas or laxatives producing diarrhea and forced to eat it. Being catheterized, bladder filled with scalding water. Being forced to drink excessive amounts of water without emptying the bladder. Given injections of muscle relaxants so unable to move or protest. Another type, psychological, spiritual, social abuse, humiliation and degradation.
What do you mean, social media?
Social media. Childhood isolation, denied friends, not allowed to visit schoolmates.
Social media.
Or invite them home. Punished for crying or showing any type of emotion. Told they are evil and no one will ever love them.
That's Christianity.
That is. Told they are special and people outside their group will harm them.
Scientology.
No freedom of choice, controlled in every aspect of their life.
Western democracy.
Never allowed to mention abuse, even to the abusers or siblings. Given impossible choices with no right answer, punished whichever one they choose.
Western democracy.
Being hypnotised, given post-hypnotic suggestions, including having no memory of the actual abuse itself.
MK Ultra.
Given hallucinogenic or sedative drugs in drinks, tablets or injections.
MK Ultra.
Reality deliberately distorted, told they didn't see what they thought they saw.
Social media.
Taught to trust nobody, especially authority figures such as doctors, police, teachers, social workers and priests.
CNN.
Photographed or videoed naked while being abused or tortured.
That's boyfriend, girlfriend, sex videos. Normal.
Smeared with blood, semen or excrement, urinated upon. Locked in basements or coal cellars, sometimes for weeks on end. Buried with only the head protruding, then abandoned and later rescued. Forced to eat rubbish or leftover scraps from dog fowl on the floor.
Third world.
Dog bowl on the floor. Abused with Christian religious artefacts, crosses, candles, etc.
Any sort of Catholic institution.
Mm-hmm. Made to desecrate cemeteries and churches.
Satanists.
Grow up dreading Christmas, Easter and even their own birthdays. Given birthday and Christmas presents containing rotten flesh and feces. Hearing nursery rhymes with distorted, frightening words. Given mock operations or a small cut. Told bomb is being implanted which will explode if they talk about the abuse. Told spiders and other insects are watching them. Sometimes pull out the vagina or made to swallow them.
Tunnels of sex shit.
Yeah. Told they will be watched from inside by the eyeballs or insects that they eat. Threatened that disclosure of abuse will result in death of themselves, their pets, their relatives, anyone they love, or any person they tell. Given specific dates for death or suicide, which may be years ahead. Taught to believe in the supernatural power of the abusers. Given magical names and numbers. Given objects which they are told have magic properties that can harm people. But if they part with them, where's the rest of that bit of paper?
I don't know.
Well,
Magic.
there you go. I didn't have the next bit.
Don't worry.
There you go. Well, I'm going to move on from that anyway.
He's moving on.
I'm moving on already. And I'm thinking of going on to places. Where are we? I think I should do places.
So what we can see from that is that we have a pretty constructed and contrived set of methodologies to mind control victims, put them in a state of fear, which interdimensionals feed on, and use that to try and suck out energy from the child victims. So we had Spiers and Bloom, who were abused at an early age, and the whole purpose was to dump the energy from Spiers into Bloom, and when Bloom had been decided to become the king of the Illuminati by being introduced to the new queen of the Illuminati, Perry, in 2016, he was ritually sacrificed with necrotic bacteria or compounds that turned his internals into black, dead, necrotic effluents which came out of his orifices. So one can see that rather than there being no infrastructure to using this methodology, SRA, satanic ritual abuse, is a means of moving the assemblage point of the victims to produce altars and to be able to displace energy bodies from the victims, which then can be moved into the receiver, telepathic hypnosis, but with bells on. So imagine with the Russian research, you had a telepathic, hypnotic channel, the sender sending to a receiver. Look in the Ostrander Schroeder books. But imagine the sender being ritually abused, a bond of friendship and sex linkage where Spiers fucks Bloom, Bloom fucks Spiers to get the merging of their energy. When a woman fucks a man, she gives her energy to the man. So then we ritually abuse both these kids. Remember the Knights Templar were into Baphomet, which is male-on-male sex, to produce the Baphomet god. And here, of course, we've got Spiers and Bloom being the Baphomet worshippers to produce the Baphomet archetype, and ritual sexual abuse is there to displace as much energy as possible from one victim to another victim. And the new victim, of course, is great because the Bloom that's produced with more energy is totally MK Ultra and totally under control. So it doesn't have ideas like yours truly that I'm going to use all this power to do what I want. No, Bloom does what his handler tells him to do. In the first case, wifey. What was the wifey? Miranda Kerr.
Miranda Kerr.
And in the second case, KP. So we get the best of all worlds. We get a four-lobed Nagwal man, artificial, because they're incredibly rare, and you've got to find one. And if you find one, then you've got to MK Ultra it to make sure it doesn't go against the Rothschild regime, because it might not like them, might not take orders. It could be like me. It could be a problem. So as you can see, ritual sexual abuse isn't simply fucking children. It has a more malign, unpleasant side to it, which is manipulation of energy bodies to try and merge them using the old Knights Templar technology, which was boy-on-boy sex, to merge the two boys together to get this four-lobed Nagwal, which then could be used as an avatar of Baphomet, call it the Chaos Force, which then would enable the Knights Templar to be able to use strategic remote influencing to control reality. Hence we move more on to the details of SRA, names, places, etc.
We talked about before, ritual in Canterbury Cathedral, the school in the headmaster's office, the bar of soap, so they forgot. And I'm just going to read out a list of locations. And not all these locations were used for ceremonies. Most are. Some for ceremonies, policy meetings.
So there's an infrastructure of SRA?
Full infrastructure. Even housing prisoners, or just a place to keep records where no one will go and they'll never be found.
But you see, it all goes back to the Knights Templar,
Yeah.
who show the efficacy of SRA.
Yeah. And you see there's been a few news reports in England of dog went down a rabbit hole, dug the rabbit hole up. Oh, there's a cave. What's in this cave? Oh, it's an old Knights Templar cave. Oh, there's a stone altar under it. Ooh, wonderful. No, not so wonderful, really. And there's a reason they're hidden. So let's just bring out this list. Penurley Lodge in the New Forest, used for meetings of cult members, not ceremonies. Colverley Old Farm in the New Forest. People have seen doll-like objects hanging in the trees at the times of ceremonies that actually take place there. I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to filter some of this out. Some of it's not so relevant, really.
He's filtering.
I'm filtering. Bitterstone House between Appleshaw and Chute, northwest of Andover. Beautiful Georgian house with a semicircular drive with 2 gates. There is a low statue below the drive as it circles in front of the house. Belongs to Lord Moyne, if he's even still alive. Connected to the Guinness family, and ceremonies are held there.
Where does this info come from?
This information was given to me on
Oh,
sorry.
But where did the information come from?
The victims
The
themselves.
victims, exactly.
The victims.
That's all we need to know, the victims.
Yes, of the victims themselves, of course. Bewley Palace, the ruined abbey and the church. Lord Montague's place. Many ceremonies held here or in the grounds. Many human sacrifices, often following torture or other punishments. Bodies either buried in the New Forest or cut up and dropped in the sea, weighted. And there's been a lot of rumours over the years about the New Forest. Strange groups gathering in the woods, funny lights and all sorts. There's a ruined church by the river in Christchurch, Dorset, used for gatherings at more than ceremonies. More than ceremonies.
Not more than ceremonies.
More than.
More than.
Old Sarum Castle in Salisbury. People have had very severe trauma in these ruined castle grounds.
So what we're actually saying is that there's a huge infrastructure in the UK of satanic ritual abuse, which goes back to the Scottish Rite Freemasons, who were the survivors of the Knights Templar, and the Knights Templar were all about boy buggery in order to produce the Bloom Spear vessel, merging two energy bodies to produce the four-lobed energy body, which should become an avatar for Baphomet. Holy shit! 20 seconds, all explained. Bang! God, I'm a genius.
We're just touching on one edge of the country, on the opposite.
Oh, we live in the south. We live in the south. We don't even want to know about the north.
Sort ourselves out.
Northern cunts.
Old Sarum Castle in Salisbury, quite a popular tourist attraction. Both torture and ceremonies took place there, or take place there. Maybe pop up there on Halloween and have a look.
You can, I'm not.
Can't be bothered.
I won't be in the UK now.
Yeah.
I live in there.
There's a Weatherspoons pub in Salisbury. It was formerly called the Townhouse. Many meetings take place there.
Cut.